Guys, welcome back to the Independent Investor Channel. My name is Ryan. I know a lot of you guys are looking for an account to go with or a specific brokerage to put your investments in. And I only offer this video to hopefully clarify my perspective on M1 Finance, who I went with for the previous month. Tried the platform out a little bit, and it just wasn't for me. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be for or meet the needs for a lot of people out there. But in my particular experience, it just wasn't for me. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things to maybe consider when choosing your brokerage account. And maybe you do end up choosing to go with M1 for all the right reasons. I mean, free entry, fractional shares, all those things are positives. And I still highly endorse the account to be utilized by new investors. But you guys need to understand, when Robinhood came out, it was the next best thing, and really everybody was jumping on that bandwagon. And it seems like there's a little bit of that going on as well with M1 Finance. All right, guys? So I'm going to run through these top 5 things that I experienced in my month on the platform. Within it, I actually had the account funded. And hopefully this can kind of help you make your decision when you're choosing out your brokerage house for the long term, guys. So let's kind of get into it. Number 1, really kind of was hesitant with regard to the amount of history that M1 Finance. I actually went through Bank of America and I said, you know, I'm taking my liquidation from M1 Finance, and they said, who? And they had no idea who that was. Rather small in scale, and I do kind of worry a little bit about having an establishment and being able to work through some of the kinks. And almost sometimes goes with the analogy that you don't really want to buy, you know, a new model of car before they've got a chance to work out some of the kinks within that car. And I thought it was the same idea here. You know, I feel comfortable with Bank of America, as I would feel comfortable with some of the more established brokerage houses out there. And I was kind of concerned a little bit with the lack of history that M1 has, you know, in offering a very, very high level of responsibility in service delivery to their customers. And it was really kind of one of the determining factors I made to actually move away from M1. All right. Number 2, the entry and exit. And I was on the platform for a month, and I'm a fairly smart guy, but as I was working through the platform, I couldn't understand when it is my stock would actually sell when I actually went on there and executed the trade. It would stay in the hopper pending, and I don't know when it actually executed the trade. I don't know when it actually settled out my cash. And I felt like that was a real strategic disadvantage, in that in my Merrill Edge account, I can trade stock, and when I execute that trade, it happens in a matter of seconds. On M1 Finance, it didn't seem like it was like that. It seemed like I put in the buy order or the sell order, and it would calculate at some point the next day. Now, my question is, are you getting it at the time that you put in the order, or when it actually executes? So there was some gray area for me as a customer, kind of sitting back on my haunches, twiddling thumbs, not really knowing when that order was executed within my account. Something I wasn't used to, and something I really needed to work through to come up with a valid opinion of as to what I thought about it. All right. Number 3, the simplicity. And this may be really, really good for a new investor. For me, I found it really interesting how I was actually on the platform, and there wasn't a lot of the things available to me that I was used to having available, building out watch list. And that may very well be in the M1 platform, but I found it alarming somewhat to be on M1 platform and see news feeds come through the actual platform itself. You know, I was seeing, you know, pictures of the president come up while I was on the platform, and I scratching my head a little bit thinking, good grief, I'm on my investing platform. I don't need to see that stuff. I just need to see data analytics. I need to have access to reports, etc. like that. I don't need to see news feeds coming in, which kind of put me up here to the history and perhaps maybe the lack of security that existed therein in M1 Finance. Number 4, I had 2 interactions with the customer service on M1, and I really just got a sense that they were doing it maybe from home or in a basement or something. I just didn't get a good warm and fuzzy about where they were offering this customer service from. on their platform, and it was as if I was talking to somebody very young who was part of maybe a call center or something, and the specifics of what they helped me with. Now, they did end up helping me with my problem, but it was very, very creative how they went in there and did this, and it wasn't service that I was used to having from one of the major brokerage houses, specifically Merrill Edge. And last, the main reason why I actually pulled away from M1 was based on what I insist for you guys as being one of the criteria of stepping into the market, and understanding how much visibility you're going to want over your accounts in the future. And I can't stress enough how important it is to have, you know, your retirement accounts all on the same page, your savings, your checking, you know, your employee sponsored, and a lot of capability now through bigger brokerages is that you can link those major brokerages on that, so you can have visibility right on your main page as far as how your assets are growing, you know, what type, and it just provides you that visibility on one-stop shopping, basically. And M1 did not provide that to me, in that it was kind of over here on its own, and I had the rest of my holdings with Merrill Edge, guys. So that really kind of sums up my honest review of M1, and hopefully this kind of helps you guys take it as a grain of salt. Certainly when I'm offering my opinion about M1 and you're looking to select that perfect brokerage house to where you're going to house your assets, and hopefully you don't do a lot of finagling, because I can tell you, if you do end up second guessing your decision, it's going to be logistically kind of difficult. It's about a 10-day process to pull your assets back out of the brokerage house. I just did it to get the funds transferred in kind over back to Bank of America, so it's kind of a hassle. It is possible, and it is a process, but I think the idea is to avoid you guys some confusion and some logistic hang up a little bit, in that you really need to try to pick the broker that's going to be really good for what your needs are long term. Guys, thanks a lot for joining into this quick shot review of M1 Finance. It just didn't work out for me. It doesn't mean that it cannot work out for you. For your future. It does offer free trades, fractional shares, all the reasons that I think a lot of people are attracted to the M1 platform. But this is my honest review as far as my personal experience with M1. And I thought you guys could really benefit from that, guys. If it's your first time to the Independent Investor channel, you need to subscribe to the channel, guys. And if there's anybody out there that has or needs any information on, you know, brokerage accounts that, you know, they're looking to get invested in, you need to share the message with those folks, guys. So please leave your comments at the bottom if I've missed something. If you are familiar with the M1 platform specifically, leave those comments down in the comments section for the rest of the community to enjoy, guys, as we're looking to empower one investor at a time with their decision making to empower their financial future. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and good luck in your investment future.